Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Video Blocks by Storyblocks. Uncage your creativity. Get all the stock video you need for only $149 a year. Visit videoblocks.com/Android to save on millions of studio quality clips from Video Blocks. And by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Home plays a big role in your life. That's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. It lets you apply simply and understand the entire mortgage process fully so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage for you. Get started at rocketmortgage.com/Android. And by Blue Apron, the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. Check out this week's menu and get 3 meals free with your first purchase and free shipping by going to blueapron.com/allaboutandroid.
Welcome to this week's episode of All About Android. This is episode 337, recorded live on October 3rd, 2017. We are your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I am Florence Ion.
And I'm Ron Richards, and we are Jason Howless this week, Flo.
We are Howless, but and we have...
Jason is... only 2 people. We need 2 people to replace Jason, right?
It's true. And we actually kind of replaced him with another Jason Murray from Osdroid, all the way here from Down Under. Thank you for joining us today, Jason.
It is a pleasure to be here. Do I have to howl?
No, you don't. Okay, but I mean, if you want to be a part of the pack, you're more than welcome.
Oh, wow. All right, there we go.
And also, a man that probably needs no introduction if you subscribe to him on YouTube. Here we have Mr. Mobile, a.k.a. Michael Fisher. Or do you want it the other way around?
I will take it in either direction. It's good to see you again, Flo.
Michael?
Oh,
hi, Ron.
Michael. Oh, Michael.
Got to get started on the right foot.
I just didn't know where you're really taking your identity if you wanted to commit full throttle or...
it's 2017. It's all, anything goes.
Yeah. I woke up on a different coast and I didn't even sleep that much over there.
You took a red eye.
Yeah, or one of those. Yeah, I took an aircraft. It was fine.
Red eye is the other direction, Flo.
Yeah, no, so I took the I took the blue eye.
Took the wide eye,
Yeah. The red pill or the blue pill.
But I also took a 5-hour energy, so I'm set. Let's do this.
All right, okay.
It's going to be a long show.
It is going to be a long show. This week, we're going to be discussing the hardware that Google's probably going to announce tomorrow at its event very early in the morning. For those of us West Coasters. Some big numbers for Xiaomi, Android 8.0 for Android Wear, and the apps that Google deems perfect. Wonderful. But before we get to that, we're gonna jump into a little weekly routine that we've started here at All About Android since the release of Android 8.0, and that is the weekly trying of the Oreo. Now, you guys have no idea which flavor I brought today.
You may as well have
I didn't actually bring it. I took it from Jason's stash in his office, so thank you, Jason, for letting me ransack your office. Today, we have... Mega stuff.
Oh yeah. So
we've come for the right time. Yes.
Right. You've moved away from the novelty flavor and you went for the you're gonna triple down on the cream.
Yes.
I believe someone suggested this a few weeks ago, didn't they?
Oh, I'm sure.
Possibly.
Mega stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
It's been biding its time. It's waiting for its time. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
These are should we do a product shot for this?
How more stuffed are the mega stuff than the double stuff?
Yeah, right. That was my question, and I'm gonna say like not more than 20% more. Like it's not a triple stuff. In other words.
So the only thing I ask is you please avoid eating it near the mic because our listeners can hear it and it sounds kind of gross.
You don't want the crunch?
Yeah. No crunching near the mic.
Oh my God! No, you can see how they built it. Sorry, do we taste first?
Wait! No, let's
you need the product shot now. Okay,
yes. Sorry, Victor, I missed for you for the product shot.
Mine is a little bit faulty. It's on an
So
angle.
as you see, we have here 2 layers of Oreo cream filling, not just one. You can see the separation between the 2 layers.
This is the laziest manufacturing process.
That is so unnatural.
Yeah.
Very unnatural. I'm going to take mine apart and eat it.
Oh,
It was an Oreo. You can eat it.
That's your
any way you
technique,
want.
right?
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
So-
for just the straight up. Do we do this simultaneously or what?
Just away from the mic.
Away
All
from
right,
go for it.
Here we
Just-
go.
just go
We
for
did
it,
the whole
yeah.
thing at once.
Yeah. Now, I don't understand what makes mega stuff different than double stuff.
It's a triple.
I don't have it.
But it's not though.
But it's not
It's really
triple.
not a triple. It's a double.
You guys, this is so sweet.
Yeah, I know. It's actually
don't listen to him.
Kind of
It's
nice.
amazing. Yeah.
Is it? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm
I have
just
a
going to stuff
sweet
the whole
tooth.
thing in my mouth.
Listen, that's outstanding. I will be on the show.
All
I have
right.
half. I'll save it for later.
So thumbs up for the mega stuff. Preferring a non-flavored Oreo option.
It's the classic. Oh, wait. No, we have a thumbs down.
It's too much. It's too much cream
Oh
filling.
wow!
And
But
like,
you don't eat it right though, because if you ate the top at the bottom at the same time, you would balance out the
the
cream
thing is, I
filling.
normally
Yes.
eat them. I normally
That's true,
dunk
we
it
do
in
that.
milk, and then I eat it, and then I drink all the milk afterwards, which is Oreo flavored milk.
You don't have
Oh,
any.
Why did you not bring milk?
Yeah.
You know, I'm lactose intolerant, so I do drink my my lactose free milk.
So are you saying that actually dunking the Oreo could kill you?
No, it won't kill me.
No,
It'll
okay.
just make
No,
me feel really uncomfortable.
She just won't tolerate it.
Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
exactly.
Very intolerant.
So, guys, what do you say? Let's head on and get into some of this week's news.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Victor.
There's no way to listen to these wrong, because you're going to get Android news.
It's true. There's no wrong way to get your Android news, especially when you get it from All About Android.
All right.
How's that, Ron, this time?
So, first on
That was
the
good.
roster
Thumbs up.
this week, we've got the Android 8.0. I guess it's kind of a beta for Android Wear, but it's only for LG Watch Sport users. So, this little version of Android, again, it's in beta, but it includes support for the notification channels and increased restrictions on background services. By the way, this stuffing made my mouth really like salivate.
Do you want?
So
Yeah, we've got some water.
I'm going to have a drink of water over here while Michael tells me how upset he is that he doesn't have the beta yet.
I am somewhat upset that I don't have the beta, but
You can
then
sign up
again,
for
I
it.
just signed up for it this afternoon, and it just hasn't been pushed to my device, so it's still showing as up to date. But based on what I've seen from the news, there isn't much different here. We have notification sorting. We have not much else, right? We have finer grain control, muting all notifications from the app. Generally, I feel like there's not an awful lot going on. I'm most interested in like whether the timer has been fixed and whether I can set
Whether
it
all the things that were wrong with Android
Wear 2.0
actually
are
fixed.
fixed. Like whether I can, be listening to a podcast or a song and check the time and not have the album art pop up and like obscure the clock. I would really like to know about these little tiny things.
So what you're saying is you would like to wear a regular watch.
No. I want to wear a great smartwatch, not like a half broken one. I want to wear a Pebble.
Fair.
R.I.P.
I've come in wearing a Sony Smartwatch 3, so
Oh my gosh, you have a Sony Smartwatch
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
Those were so good. I suggested that watch to so many people who came to me and said that they wanted like a good sporty, this was years ago. But a
Yeah,
good
yeah, no,
sporty
it was
watch.
years ago, right? Yeah.
You know, it was one of the best Android Wear watches at the time.
Is that
Oh,
over
the
here?
product shot is right
there.
here.
There we go.
There we
Wait,
go.
Let me
we can
turn
do
it
a
on.
little
There we go.
Yeah.
showing off.
It's kind of boring.
No, it's just understated.
So what version
It's
of Android
tastefully
Wear are you
understated.
on right now?
I don't think this ever got an update to 2.0. Yeah,
notice-
it's super old and it's never going to get an update. And I keep telling people from Sony, can you please do a smartwatch 4? Is there a camera that I can look down to make a personal plea to Sony? Please.
I don't know if Sony watches this show, but maybe they should.
Yeah.
All right, is that it on Android Wear?
Yeah, I think that's it on Android Wear. I think because I feel like that's the way I feel about Android Wear, but I mean, you guys could feel you're actually wearing Android Wear.
It seems like, you guys are wearing Android. I gave up on Android Wear now. It's like a year or two ago. I actually stumbled upon my old Wear device when I was in my storage unit this past weekend. I was like, oh yeah, well, I had a watch once. But I feel like Wear is just dying on the vine. Like I feel like they rolled it out so they could check off the wearable box. They're doing it. they're powering things like Fossil and other kind of fashion kind of things, but they're not really innovating. Like, what's left to do in Android Wear?
Right. Well, and that's the confusing bit to me, is that you have all these manufacturers who are kicking out hardware for it. Like, it seems like a very healthy hardware ecosystem, and then you use it, and it's not exactly, it's not terrible, but there's enough. It feels quite non-cohesive. That's not a word, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't give me a consistently nice user experience. Even the first version I would take over two. So I'm eager to see what happens once this beta gets pushed and what's been tweaked and stuff, because I still think there's a lot of great stuff happening in the platform. But
all the manufacturers, at least in Australia, so we didn't get that watch at all in Australia. So all of the manufacturers bringing out things like Fossil and everyone like that, they're all bringing out super expensive watches. And
the Michael Kors, they just announced some new ones, and they're around $400. Of course, they have like pave detailing, and they're made of silver, and they have gold detailing, and they're super pretty. But they're fashion watches.
They totally are.
Because I don't like Android very much.
No, that came through loud and clear.
yeah, no.
It's fine.
And there's not much.
I'm
there.
not enthused by it. I'm wearing a hybrid watch when I do wear one these days.
I'll be honest. I grabbed this and charged it, and then brought it with me to the States, because I'm like, I should go on the show wearing it. And let's have a watch.
Oh, there we go. Watch off.
A watch off. There
There we go. Watch off.
That man, the watch sport looks pretty good on camera.
Look how
In person,
bright
it's
this
a meatball.
doesn't get.
It does look like a meatball in person.
Doesn't it? You just got to look at it from the side, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're wearing a ping pong ball on your wrist.
This is the problem that I have with most of the Android Wear watches at the moment, is that no one's really innovated and crammed more hardware into that space. It's the same stuff over and over again. Look at what Apple's done with their new watch. Like, they've miniaturized stuff and they've crammed more things into it. We've still got these super thick watches that sit on our wrist. Although this looks nice, it is actually still pretty super thick.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame.
Yeah. It is a shame.
Bummer. All right. Well, what's
Well,
not
I
a
really
shame?
killed the mood on that one. Sorry.
What's not a shame is the October security patch from Google for Google Pixels and Nexuses. So the October security patch from Google has got the fixes themselves are mainly low-level patches that fix kind of known and zero-day exploits. And those fixes are in place across the frameworks and from chip makers like Broadcom and MediaTek and Qualcomm. But the big news here is that Google now features their Google security page feature a change log of what's been patched. So you can see the new security bulletin pages on the pixel level that will tell you what exactly has been patched, what the source are. It's giving you more insight to what's going on with these security updates, these monthly security updates, which is very exciting and a lot of transparency in Google that we haven't seen yet. If you really need to get it, you can't wait for it to come over the air. Google has posted the images so you can flash your devices manually if you would like to. This is a lot of transparency around these commitment to these monthly security updates. Flo, what do you make of this change?
I'm pretty excited about this just because I feel like I feel like Google's been really trying to be transparent about what it's doing to help secure the operating system on its own end, but it's not really, offering a change log of sorts to sort of like tell people, hey, this is what we updated, this is what we patched, this is what we did behind the scenes. So this way, it's just kind of nice to have a change log that you can go to. It makes us more knowledgeable because we know kind of what's going into each of these little monthly security updates, what's being done, at HQ. It makes the user more informed what's going on. So if they want to know what's going on, they can read about it.
More transparency is good.
More transparency is good, especially when it comes to matters of security.
Mm-hmm. It's good to know whether or not you need to actually rush out and download that OTA yourself, just in case you might actually be affected by something.
That's the other thing. I imagine with all like the carriers and the stuff that we have to deal with that, I don't know, maybe one of these months I'll see I'm not getting an update on a phone that's very crucial, and maybe I should just storm into Verizon and go, oh, hey, angry woman here.
And
why aren't you updating my phone?
And very quickly get escorted out of Verizon.
Because the angry woman trope, yes. It doesn't work.
That doesn't work, does it?
Doesn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. I was going to say maybe it got me out of a ticket once, but that's another story. That was just plain crying.
We yell at carriers in Australia for delaying our updates all the time, and it doesn't help.
No.
No, it doesn't help us. So do carriers in Australia, do they rule you the way that they rule us?
I think our carriers are starting to get it a little bit more. So when we have Nexus and Pixel phones come out, there is a commitment from the carriers. Yeah, well, you'll get updates straight from Google, and then it's like, yeah, we'll look at them first. But so for Google's own branded phones, yeah, we'll get those updates a little bit sooner. I will send a quick little shout out to Telstra, because Telstra does not do this, and they say they do and they don't do it. And what we inevitably find is that if we go and buy a $2 SIM from another carrier, stick it in the phone, suddenly it's Update Central.
You have to buy a SIM?
Yeah, we pay about $2 for SIM cards usually. It's not so bad.
Is it like a recycling tax?
Yeah, probably.
I'm curious.
I think it's actually it's to pay for the admin fees of hooking up your number and storing all your personal information in a massive corporate database where everyone can get at it.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
It's probably paying for that server
All those
space.
zeros and ones, they cost money.
It's very true.
With the 10 minutes of retail clerk time.
Yeah.
You know, people have to get paid, right?
I mean,
So, yeah.
I was one of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me my $2.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you work at Sprint?
I worked at Nextel, and then we got bought. Yes, I worked at Sprint.
Okay.
Even I get that.
Distinction.
So, speaking of a brand that doesn't need a carrier to just be one of the highest selling on the globe, Xiaomi has just set a new sales record in India.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Which is super crazy. I mean, we think about it like China's their kind of main market, but they sold 1 million devices in just 2 days during the Diwali festival, and I just want to parallel this with the reports that I just been seeing some like reports fluttering about of the Pixel not really selling more than
between 5 and 10 million.
Just like a
units or something
very small million
modest
unit compared to the Galaxies and the iPhones out there in the world.
Right. So the Pixel's only on Verizon here, right?
No.
But you can buy it direct.
Verizon appears to have exclusive rights, not exclusive rights, but Verizon has a lot of rights to advertise it everywhere. So they own a lot of the big billboards, so they can emblazon the Pixel on there. But it's also sold unlocked in the Google store.
Right.
And you can use them, you use that with any carrier.
Yeah.
And on Project Fi.
But carrier
the thing
sales
is,
are huge.
Yeah, the carrier sales are what move those Samsung numbers. I mean, Samsung is available at all the carriers: T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, etc.
Some of the MVNOs too. They'll sell it to you, like if you want to pay $700 outright.
We had the best price on the S8 at an MVNO in Australia.
Well, I guess I don't know what the conversion is off the top
Get
of
out
my
your
head.
calculators.
No, it was a good price on contract for sort of like 2 years of service plus the phone price. It worked out to be the best deal, but it meant that you had to deal with an MVNO instead of dealing directly with a carrier.
But the Xiaomi story doesn't surprise me at all, though, because I mean, as we were talking, we had about an hour drive up here.
You did.
We had a lot to talk about, and as we were talking about our sort of audiences and how they respond to stuff, and it seems like no matter what phone I cover, I have a very large contingent from India. Shout out. And like they're always asking me to cover the Xiaomi something or other, and I rarely do because I do a lot of North American stuff. But it is so very clearly the new hot thing in that region that, I mean, I'm good for Xiaomi for moving all those units, but I'm not surprised. There's a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, they also announced an affordable Android One phone, the Mi A1, which comes with a stock version of Android, and that's also proving to be super popular. So not only is Xiaomi making big sales for itself, it's also, I mean, in a way, helping push the Android agenda in a sense. I mean, I don't know the agenda.
Wow.
I'm actually really surprised.
That's always been the plan with Android, though, is to lean on the OEMs, right? Yep. So at Xiaomi, we're often talking about the opportunity in emerging markets, and India, and Southeast Asia and all that sort of stuff are the kind of the first line of emerging markets, and then you get into Africa and that sort of thing. But I'm not surprised either by these numbers because nobody else is as focused on it as they are.
Yeah.
They also have a huge fan base, which I am I'm a little, I guess I want to say jealous, but I don't mean that so much as, well, I kind of mean that, I don't know how
you want to belong,
fan base
Flo.
has
You
been
want to
building.
belong to something. Like the Xiaomi brand loyalty is similar to the Apple brand loyalty here in the States, and you're a little jealous of that.
I am a little jealous because I think it could be stronger, in the Android realm. Just
what about
tiny bit
OnePlus?
stronger.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
OnePlus.
That's
too,
also
yeah.
true, but that's a Chinese company. I want to see
and trying
Like what?
to think of any U.S. manufacturer.
I was just trying. Who still makes things in the U.S.? Nobody.
Yeah,
Never
nobody.
mind.
Yeah.
That has not been something that I've been concerned with.
Essential.
We get all our phones from China. Oh yeah, Essential.
Essential, right? Although mixed reviews on that. How do you guys feel about the Essential phone?
Yeah. How do you guys feel?
I would love to hold one. Has
See?
anyone got one?
Wait.
Later. I don't have it with me.
You didn't leave it in the car like
I
that.
did not leave it in the car. It is a beautiful piece of hardware, as we discovered in New York. And, unfortunately, that camera is, despite the updates, you've got to install a different viewfinder app to make the camera at all passable.
Is that,
Wow.
Is that one of those cases where if you install the Google camera, it gets much better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's good. That means the optics are not the problem. That means that
It's the software.
Yeah, we can just keep on. They can keep tweaking the software, and we can keep enjoying the benefits of that. But until then, it's rough. I am playing with the 360 camera mod though now, and that's just a ton of fun. It's the cutest thing. I should have brought it. I'm sorry I didn't.
That was the whole thing at the Essential event. I don't know if you had the same experience I had, Michael, but like every time I talked about the camera, they moved the conversation to the 360 camera.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, very strategically. Yeah,
It is 359 cameras better.
yeah.
I warned you about the jokes.
Why
right?
isn't the drum set guy on the thing?
I know. Yeah, Victor, we need the rim shot. Come on.
I guess there's just one last little thing to say about Xiaomi, which this Android Authority article points to the fact that in 2016, it managed to ship a paltry 58 million units. So just a paltry.
What a shame.
But it's safe to say that it is very possible, someday the company could potentially overtake some of our big guys, our Samsung.
If they actually
Our Samsung.
Our Samsung.
Yeah, our Samsung.
South Korea's Samsung. Not ours.
Wisconsin's proudest smartphone maker, Samsung.
Well, Michael and Jason, you guys need to know that Flo is actually the North
Here we go.
Bay regional Samsung fan club president. So yeah.
Wow.
So the
No, I'm not.
Northern
Sarcasm.
California chapter,
I see.
everything north of Sausalito and under Oregon is Flo's territory.
I like my territory. It's scenic.
I'm surprised you're not running the show on a Dex dock. What's going
Oh,
on?
yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, she's the president of the Dex Haters Club, which is really conflicting.
Ron likes the Dex a lot.
I
So
do
are you,
too.
I love
are you
the Dex.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Are you the leader of the undex?
The Undex.
Yeah. You want to undo everyone's dexes.
Yeah.
Like take those phones out of those
Oh,
docks.
that's mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, I saw one for the first time the other day and I thought it was actually pretty cool.
it is.
It is cool.
Ish.
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
remember the hotel room? Okay, so
yes.
I was at the hotel with Michael Fisher for Google I/O, and we were trying to connect the Dex.
Which part of the story are you going to tell? Because all of this was embarrassing for one of us. You ever
I was
not?
just gonna say we were having problems. I brought the wrong AC adapter. It wasn't like it didn't plug in.
yeah.
I was frustrated.
Yeah, clear
Then
your
you took my mouse back to Boston.
clear your keyboard autocomplete before you use Dex in front of people. By the way,
Oh my gosh!
it's a public service advisory.
I feel like that's a good time to jump into an ad.
Yeah, let's take this moment to pause the show. We want to thank our first sponsor. This week's episode of All About Android is brought to you by Video Blocks by Storyblocks. And listen, do you need sound effects for your podcast production, video background on your website, or a hero image for your blog? Are your creative needs compromised due to budget constraints? Well, fear not. Now you can get studio quality stock video for a fraction of the cost with Video Blocks. You can download all the stock video your heart desires from their member library, including over 115,000 studio quality HD videos, After Effects templates, motion backgrounds, and more. All their content is royalty free, so you can use it for commercial and personal projects. Everything you download is yours to keep and use forever. The license doesn't expire. It is yours to use forever. New clips are added regularly, so there's always something fresh to download. And also, you get exclusive discounts on additional marketplace clips. You save 40%, and the original artists take home 100% of the sale price. You'll get access to over 5 million additional videos that are available to purchase directly from artists. And let me tell you, I've been making content for the past, almost nearly 20 years now. And getting your hands on good stock photos and stock imagery has always been a problem. It's expensive. It's costly. You want your videos to look good now. It is easier than ever to make awesome looking content thanks to Video Blocks by Storyblocks. Seriously, if I had this 10 years ago, I probably would have been in a much better spot on the YouTube charts than I am now. So don't risk the quality of a project due to the high cost of acquiring footage. With Video Blocks, you don't have to use old or outdated footage. No more footage with an ugly watermark. We all know that pain of the ugly watermark, so no, it's not a problem anymore. Video Blocks footage has been used by over 90,000 customers, including NBC, National Geographic, the History Channel, and the Travel Channel. So this is what you're going to do if you need to get quality stock photos and stock video and great assets to use in your productions. Go to videoblocks.com/Android to get all the stock video you can imagine for just $149 a year. That's videoblocks.com/Android and save on millions of studio quality clips from Video Blocks. And we thank Video Blocks by Storyblocks for their support and making our content look awesome. Thanks, Video Blocks. All right, now it's time to dive into the hardware.
Hardware. Where do we even start? Considering,
well, it's Google Pixel Eve, isn't it?
It is Google Pixel Eve, yes, which is why I wore a crystal today on my ring.
Is this so that we can look into it? And
no, it's for good juju. For good Google juju.
Good juju.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is our last time to run through what we're anticipating to be announced tomorrow, and we do this kind of with the tongue in cheek because we've had so many rumors. At this point, are you guys expecting any surprises from tomorrow's hardware event from Google?
No, not me.
You don't think Sundar Pichai will one more thing?
I really hope he doesn't.
No.
Why not?
Why not?
Tim Cook did it this year.
Yeah,
Why can't Sundar?
But that's their thing.
It's the thing. No.
And
I kind of feel like it's disrespectful if someone else does it.
Oh, no.
So did you think Me First and the Gimme Gimmes was a disrespectful band? I mean, I'm just saying. You got to cover it.
But is Google doing a cover of Apple? Come on, Flo. I mean, like, I get where Jason's coming from. Like, you don't want to do the one more thing, but I would like some surprise. Like, I hate knowing what's going into it, you know?
Do two more things.
Yeah, two more things. I like that.
Yeah. You know,
but so let's quickly do a run through of all the various rumors, and then we can kind of assess whether we believe it or don't believe it. So first up, the Pixel 2 and the Pixel XL2 will be announced. The Pixel 2 will be manufactured by new Google investment partner HTC, and the Pixel 2 XL will be manufactured by LG. These are pretty much a lock. We all agree, right?
Yeah, I'd like to know who's manufacturing the Pixel 2's bezels.
I think the Pixel 2 regular one is going to have HTC manufacture their bezels, and the bigger one is going to be manufactured by LG.
One of these companies has less to do. Yes. In terms of making bezels.
I believe that would be LG because the Pixel 2 XL is supposed to be a 18:9 ratio.
Looks an awful lot like a V30. Yeah.
30.
Yeah, funny that.
Funny that.
And
fascinating.
Look, there are V30s on the desk in front of everyone who's not named
They're
Jason.
pre-production V30s, mind you.
And looking like a V30 is not at all a bad thing.
It is not a bad
in my
thing.
opinion.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's gorgeous.
Very gorge.
Can we talk
about
the panda-colored back on the Pixel 2?
Yes.
So what we've got on the if we scroll that down, there is in contrast to the main Pixel 2 where you get
you mean the two-tone colored, right?
Yeah, sorry,
it's a panda with an orange nose.
We've been calling the black and white Google phones panda phones in Australia for ages. I was not aware that was not an international thing.
Wait, are you guys closer to pandas than we are?
Technically, probably, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Well,
make
I mean, you
sense.
can't unless you count the pandas at the San Diego Zoo, which I mean they're in captivity. But I imagine in Australia pandas just like cross the street. Right?
At least they're
No,
reproducing.
that's kangaroos.
Yeah. Oh, that's kangaroos, right? Okay. I like the two-tone color. I like the black and white
I do
combination.
too.
Personally,
It's got a. Is that a red button I see on the side
orange,
of it as well? Orange,
apparently,
Yeah.
or is it red?
I do not know if this is apocryphal or not, but someone said that the 3D rendering software that is used to make a lot of these sort of defaults to some colors when it's just throwing buttons on there, and that highly resembles one of those default colors. So it may not, in fact, be an orange button. I don't know if any of that holds water, but
so there's a
citation
green
needed,
one.
I guess.
That's an open question for tomorrow. What color is the button?
Indeed, there we go.
Yay,
We
we
got
have
one
something to look forward
surprise.
to.
There is some history. There's some
Something will
mystery. All right,
surprise
well,
us.
What if the button was a status light? Sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
that would be neat. I would like a status light in the button. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
And a
that would be very
fingerprint
cool.
scanner.
All right, so Pixel 2, Pixel XL2, pretty much a lock, right? So
Yeah.
I think they have to be at this point.
yeah.
We've seen so
Moving
much.
on, do we think the Google Home Mini is a reality? Do we think that's a lock?
Oh, yeah.
As well too?
Walmart
Yeah.
thinks it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Walmart thinks it is.
Yeah. So apparently the Google Mini Home was leaked at Walmart, which is one of the reasons why that they took it down quickly. But some of the this leak revealed the dimensions and the weight, and that it also might utilize micro USB in some way, which is interesting.
Yeah, 95
but this-
Google said it looked micro USB. We don't know.
Really? That's been unusual. The everything else is USB-C now. that Google
Yeah,
makes.
That's a strange thing.
Golden bus.
But yeah, so
It's
basically,
been in the works for a while.
yeah, basically this is, as we talked about, the little mini version of the Amazon Echo Dot, the $50 kind of put it in, in the bedroom while the Google Home is in the living room sort of thing. But this might be what we, one thing that we have heard rumblings of. It might be accompanied by a Google Home Max, which will have a premium design and stereo sound. How do you guys feel about that rumor?
I feel like
I mean, if you're going to get excited about Google Home, that's a pretty exciting thing because the existing Google Home, I think, is a pretty good speaker.
I really like my Google
actually,
Home.
I disagree on the speaker front.
that right?
Yeah. Play any music on it, it's terrible. Play a podcast on it, like, I don't know, all about Android, and it'll sound fine. But I've got
I heard it depends on genre, by the way. No, seriously.
Yeah, maybe. But I've got a Sonos sitting next to my. I've got a Sonos sitting next to my Google
Well,
Home.
but that's
yeah, you're
hard.
disqualified.
He comes from
Yeah.
Sardinia, and we come from.
Pardon me.
I don't know.
So here's the thing I can't do with Sonos is I can't control it with Google Home.
Right.
Because Sonos has their silly little custom cast integration that only works in Google Play Music, and they've never supported the actual cast protocol. Could really
How do you
it.
feel?
I feel a rant coming on. But yeah, if there's going to be a Google Home that has a better quality speaker, I'm all for it. But the price is going to go up, and so you're going to end up going out and buying the minis instead. Because if you want to have little Google Homes around your house so that you can control your home with smart lights, you're going to kit these out and stick them on the wall with
So
little
cute.
sticky
Look at
strips
them, and they
everything.
come in 3 colors. One of which doesn't even belong in my house, but I think I'm gonna get it anyway because
Look, you can have
coral.
a feature wall.
the coral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, it might fit in my room. We'll see.
The coral color is the hotness. I mean, Google keeps rolling out this coral, and it's just like every time I see it, I want more.
What about the price as well? $50.
It's the same as a dot.
Yeah,
No-brainer.
they better play in this space.
No-brainer.
And yeah, it's very.
Yeah, that's a good price. So, well, speaking of coral,
Yes.
we've got another Google product that's rumored to be announced tomorrow in the Daydream View 2, which will be available in charcoal, fog, and coral colors. And we've heard rumors about this being, possibly moving to a nylon material, and rumors of a $99 price point, which is a $20 increase over last year's model. What do you do? Is this a lock? And what do we make of the price jump?
I maintain that remote better have way better tracking than the first gen. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth that $20 extra. That's where I'm at with that. Because I found some third-party Daydream headsets that you can buy off Amazon for about $60, and they work the same. And I need a reason to buy it directly from Google.
Yep, no, fair enough. I think it's kind of a shame to see the material just sort of change to be a little bit more a little bit more subdued and almost a little bit more flat. Like I really like the texture of the first Daydream unit. And this just looks...
They got really gross, though.
That was going to be my point.
They were like, when I was trying them at GDC, and they... they had to like swap out the thing, and it was just.
They'd had a lot of other faces on them.
Yeah, and then you could just like feel the sweat from the last person like still on the band, and you're like, I gotta shower when I get home.
That's the thing, right? It's like you can make a cool material decision like that, but you have to be ready to bear the.
Well, you have to make it like that because you strap those things to your face, and they're super uncomfortable.
Oh, and they've got to be comfy. Yeah, no, they've got to be like comfy.
Yeah.
But this looks like it's going to walk the line between durability and comfort a little bit better, maybe.
You'd hope so, being the next version of it, right? Like,
yeah.
I think with the original strap, people I think people felt it was a little bit high up on their head, and I think that people were a little bit afraid that it was going to fall off as well. So I'd like to see that fixed.
It doesn't have the top of the one
like
that
on
goes
the
top,
Oculus,
or like on the Gear VR.
Yeah, no, they've never done that. I feel like maybe it just needs to be a little bit more secure and maybe just a little bit better fit.
Would you expect a better fit for $99?
So I certainly would.
Yes, absolutely. If it came out and it had exactly the same, if it was exactly the same design and they just changed it to nylon, I'd be really disappointed. Maybe there is something in that remote that's been upgraded or changed, retrofitted.
So.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Otherwise, I'm going to have a hard time using it. I do have to say, I wonder if we're going to see people matching these to their airplane outfits because they look very comfortable, like you're supposed to match your...
Who has an airplane outfit?
You do not have an airplane
really?
outfit, Ron?
Really?
I wear whatever clothes I wear to where I'm going after the airport.
I saw some great airplane
But don't you want to be
outfits
comfy?
today,
can I just say that Qantas does give people pajamas in some cabins of the aircraft?
That's lovely.
Well, I mean,
amazing.
if you're paying that much.
Yeah, it depends on how long you're in the air for and whatnot. All right, well, we got one more.
Yes.
The very expensive Google Pixelbook, which will only be available in silver, with 3 different flavors: 128 gig, 256 gig, or 512 gig at $11.99, $13.99, and $17.49.
Yes.
And it will not. And at those prices, it will not ship with the Pixelbook pen, which is going to cost you an additional $99. So what do you guys make of the Google Pixelbook? Is this going to happen? And with the pen, and what do you make of that price tag?
The price tag is ludicrous and It is ludicrous. And but I mean, maybe there'll be some really special tracking in the display that makes that pen just fluid and smooth and something different than maybe what a Surface or an iPad Pro offers.
Probably not.
I mean,
Okay.
Let's be honest.
I'm admittedly like sort of not really hip to Chromebooks a lot, but as I understand it,
You can't do video with them.
Yeah, right. No,
we were
is
talking
why-
about this on the way.
Yeah.
We had many conversations.
That's
on the
why
way.
this is maybe the thing I'm most looking forward to seeing tomorrow after the Pixels, the phones, because like I love that the vast majority of Chromebooks are made to be affordable and sort of,
Yes.
no frills and just get the basics
East
done
One,
and
yes.
and like nail the basics and great. And every year or every other year or something, Google puts out this unbelievably incredible work of art engineering accomplishment that's this $1 billion Pixelbook, and it's like, who's the target market for this? It's
Jason Howell.
It's just an aspirational
It's Jason
device.
Howell.
Okay,
I was going to say Daniel
I'm gonna
Tyson.
buy one.
I love it. I mean, I think that's cool. And also, by the way, as a longtime Pixel C user and fan, it doesn't look like we're going to get a Pixel D anytime soon. So, like, this is what I'm going to have to live with.
Jason, you look like you want to say something.
Do you have a Pixel D?
They never even brought Pixelbooks to Australia.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What a shame.
So like this is a white whale. If I see it tomorrow, it'll be cool. I'll take a photograph of it, but I don't know if it's going to come to Australia.
See it. So you take the photograph, and then you look back on it on Google Photos. You type in, Pixelbook.
It'll animate it. It'll set it to music.
Exactly. It'll put a
be
filter
love
over
story.
it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's you do have to wonder who the target market for these is. Like that seems fine.
This was $500,
yeah.
Yeah.
which is not bad.
It's not 11 hundo. I just thought I'd jump on with the hundos.
Please feel free.
You can also use Benjamins if you like.
Yeah, good old Benjamin. I don't know.
I just have to add, I finally saw Wonder Woman, and I'm sorry I was so late to seeing it.
Oh, it was great.
And she uses a Pixel C in that.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
the coolest.
She's using a
totally.
Pixel C to like do her work and then go save the world.
If you're going to get product placement, you may as well put it on Wonder Woman, right?
Absolutely.
Pixel C is like a prop from a movie, man.
Yeah, well, it does look like a prop from a movie. Like it's
it was
made
a
to
prop
be
in a movie.
It is.
Probably
there
some
you
other
go.
movies out there that we don't know about and TV shows.
I don't know. Do you reckon that's actually something that Google went out for product placement, or was it just we need a tablet and someone on the set is just like, here, use this?
I have to get to the bottom of this.
No, I from what I know about the entertainment industry, it's never somebody just says, "Oh, here, use this." There's always some sort of deal happens. Yeah. So
6 months of negotiation.
Why have they waited 2 years for it?
Yeah, I know, that's strange. Anyway, so Google Pixel Eve. Tomorrow will be the announcement. I know Twitter will be covering it live. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do it live with Leo, but I'm sure stuff will be.
I actually will be
covered
live
and
with
announced.
Leo tomorrow.
Oh, great. Excellent. I'm glad
Morning.
you're doing
So
it.
I will be here
Great.
at 9 a.m. to live pundit.
Excellent. Hot takes.
Can you let us know if you see us? We'll wave.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But so Flo, we got one last rumor for the Pixel
We
event,
do
right?
have one last rumor, which may turn out to be our cool thing that we were hoping would be extra announced. Google is rumored to launch a Made for Google certification program, kind of like, a Made for Google certification program. Basically, nothing's confirmed yet, but it's rumored that it will be announced at the Pixel event. This Made for Google program would essentially certify accessories from third-party manufacturer. So you've got launch of devices like Pixels, Google Home, and Daydream View. So of course you're going to want to have accessories that properly work with them. And one particular case I think this will really help is with USB-C cables, which, as you know, plug in the wrong cable from, a manufacturer that botched it, and you could end up short-circuiting your phone or sparking a fire, perhaps, which is scary.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not transferring data when you expect them to, and like only charging and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
But I also imagine this might also just be used for the box art at the store. Put like a little Made for Google symbol on there. For instance, like when you're saying it works on the App Store, it works on the Play Store on the box.
Hey, I have a Google phone. I'm going to buy that.
Precisely.
Yeah, it's smart.
I don't think we'll be seeing Beats on that list anytime soon.
Probably not.
No great loss.
Yeah. Has Beats now stopped shipping the second cable that worked with Android phones?
Oh, I don't know. I've never
I'm not-
owned anything
I
Beats
haven't
in
for
my life.
years.
A little out of my price range. My most fanciest pair of headphones that I have right now are the ones that came for free with the Allo CS8.
I've got some tack-in headphones in my bag.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Well, what's also too expensive for you, Flo? A new jacket, perhaps?
Yeah, this jacket's very expensive for me. I know, Ron, that you're very interested in this product.
Yes, I am.
So, Ron, you know what? Why don't you take this and then I'll touch Michael?
Well, yeah. So, but before the show started, Flo chatted to me and says, "Michael's got Project Jacquard on," and I said, "You're kidding me."
Yes.
So, Michael, tell us all about this jacket, this wonderful piece of technology. Is it wonderful?
Ridiculously lucky, and Boston happened to be one of the 3 launch markets. And I walked into a store, and they had 5 of them on a rack, and a bunch of 2 Google people in the store to talk about it, and it was great. And I tried it on.
Oh my God, there were Google people there.
There were Google people.
Okay.
So one of them had a blue Pixel like me, and we did a whole demo, and it was lovely. So the jacket itself is very comfortable. It is the Levi's commuter Jacquard by Google. Jacquard. There's all kinds of branding
There's
on it.
lines, there's
pocket
copyrights.
too.
Oh, yeah, no, I've got an inside pocket. I've got 2 inside pockets.
That's
The
so
sleeve
cool.
pocket. But really, all the business happens here on the sleeve, which you can barely see it. Like, these threads are, they've done some custom weaving, as you probably know. run and flow. There's some kind of metallic, but
I
it
saw
doesn't
this
feel
taken apart
any
at,
different.
at Google I/O, and they showed kind of like the way it was.
threads?
It was woven into the fabric. It was fascinating.
And they, of course, interface with the little kind of snap tag here is what they call it, and it's very flexible. The battery life is The battery life is actually quite good.
Oh, that's it.
So
that
far.
comes off.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Whoa,
You have
this
to take
is,
it off
whoa,
to
this
wash
is
it,
crazy.
right?
Right,
We
so
didn't see this. We didn't see this in the demo
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
So,
So
that,
you plug this into a USB-A port, obviously, to charge it, but you don't really need to do that often. They're calling it 14 days, I think. Just plug it in, and then you've got this illuminated portion that will tell you that you have an inbound call or something like that, and it'll also react when you do the gestures by swiping backwards or forwards or double tap and starting your music, and it should be doing all that on the Pixel.
Oh yeah, can you
which
do a
it's
live
connected
demo
to
for
right
us?
now?
These always go well.
Oh yeah, Hot
Oh,
Thoughts
yeah, they
by
always go well.
Spoon. What a great track.
Anything you need blurred out, just let us know.
Actually, I just cleared away a Project Fi throttling notification, so that's
Oh,
nice.
cool.
Never
Well-
seen that
Nice.
before. But anyway, yeah, like if you're playing back a track, you can go ahead and skip, or you
Okay.
can go previous, or you
Whoa.
can stop. Yeah. One thing you
Wow.
can, it's quite cool, and it'll announce stuff too. So it sort of presupposes that you're wearing headphones while you're using the jacket, and so you have to like get yourself set up that way. You have to have your phone in your pocket and your headphones on, and you get on your bike, and then you are able to control the media in limited ways. You can't control the volume on the jacket.
Ooh.
You can set it to announce your inbound callers and text, but I don't think it'll announce the content of the text in your ears. There's, it's very early.
Can you answer the phone with the jacket?
I believe yes. You can accept a call or reject a call, and the app allows you to customize all the different interactions.
Gestures.
Yeah, the gestures and stuff. So it's all really cool. But I'm much more excited for the future of it than its current iteration. I mean, this very same jacket without the Project Fi stuff without the Project Jacquard stuff is, I think, $148
Yeah.
instead of
350?
$350.
Yeah.
And also, the weirdest thing about it is you can only wash it 10 times.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. But how often do you wash a jean jacket anyway?
True.
Can you dry clean it?
I think it says no, or I actually don't quote me on that. It says on the tag.
It'll make it really stiff if you take it to the dry cleaner. A
Really?
jean jacket. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's just like
But I mean, like, the look is great. The technology is cool. It's just like, I feel like, when did we first hear about this? IO 15?
yeah, IO 15.
I would like a little bit more functionality at launch for 350, I think.
Is this wind back? Like
Yeah, so
is there
they're
some
vented shoulders, and there's
vented?
like reflective tape on it, so you don't get creamed by a car when you're bike
Are
riding
you
at night.
When you
biking?
stop to
Are you
answer your phone
biking with
calls?
this?
I am not. I personally am not, but most people who buy the Levi's commuter jacket are like, I think that's the target market.
Okay, forget most people. You're most people, because like
I
most
am
people
not.
don't bike to work. I
No,
don't
well,
bike to work.
but everyone in Boston
Yeah.
does. I feel like it's this.
Maybe
would
you guys
be,
have more of a bike culture.
No,
Me
most
too.
definitely, yeah. And
Well, yeah, but go to San Francisco and talk about bike culture, or Portland, or anything like that. Like those are, thousands of people on bikes.
Right.
So
And
it
they
makes
don't.
sense.
And they don't want, like, if you don't have a smartwatch, especially, you don't necessarily want to be fiddling with your phone while you're doing that. So this could be quite handy in that circumstance.
Do you find that it replaces the watch? Given that you've got a watch right under that capacitive.
It's a
swiping, right?
super redundant thing. I would, if you already have a smartwatch, this jacket probably is not going to do you many favors. But
I was
if you
gonna ask,
don't-
why are you wearing the smartwatch?
Because I thought I was going to get the beta, but I didn't get the beta. So I was like, you want me to take off my watch?
No.
Make fun of my watch some
I
more?
just felt it was a tiny bit redundant, But
No, it
also you
certainly
are
is.
Mr. Mobile,
Hey,
and
hashtag.
you're wearing all the mobile stuff.
Smash that like button.
So, oh boy, you've
Ron, are
been
you
on
gonna-
YouTube too long.
Are you going to buy one, Ron?
No, I'm not spending $350 on a jacket. I'm just going to drool over people like you who have it and be jealous. And I'll probably wait for the next one that hopefully is a little cheaper. It seems as if the technology is worth about $200 though, right? Like if that's the markup on it.
Apparently.
Yeah, it seems to be,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, I think I did the calculation. You can buy the regular one without the Jacquard and a smartwatch of pretty good quality for a little less
But
than
you're
the
not
jacket.
getting that thread tech.
True.
And who knows how much that,
Right.
like maybe that thread needs to be specially made, like in one little factory, and it's not being made at scale, and maybe that's why it's.
Yeah.
And
I would like to see other design options. Like if there was a more of a not
Sleeveless?
windbreaker, but like not sleeveless. Then what are you gonna do? But more of
On the
a
collar.
yeah. a more of a just not a denim jacket, but just like a regular jacket. I don't know that mainly because that's the kind of jacket I wear.
I'm with
into
you.
a hoodie.
Yeah, this is the first denim jacket I've worn, I think, since I was in 6th grade. But you should try it because it's pretty cool.
So when I walked into the when I walked into the hotel and saw you wearing that today, I was just like, oh, he's wearing a denim jacket. Okay.
Oh, I am in America. Yeah. Yeah, man.
But I mean, honestly, I'm surprised they didn't roll it out in a hoodie, given the tech stereotype of the hoodie and all that sort of thing. Yeah,
and that's the exciting part that I'm looking forward to. It's very clearly they have their eyes on a lot more, like not form factors, but cuts, right? So, yeah, you could do this in hoodies. You could do this in shoes. Whatever would benefit from a touch interface.
I feel like the limited wash cycle would be a problem with hoodies.
Oh yeah, true.
So they have to find a thread that can withstand that many washes, especially with the way washing machines can be very, very aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah. Or put it in a jacket, make it dry clean only or something. Yeah. Something
Put it in a dry cleaning bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that we got it in studio, Michael. Thank you for wearing it.
Absolutely. I'm glad we got to talk about it.
Perfectly timed. Neither of us are going to be able to wear it, so that's why we have Michael. Jason, you brought a couple phones just to kind of show and tell. Since we're coming to the end of the hardware block, but did you want to quickly?
Yeah, look, let's
sort of.
Maybe we should go with the super bright colored Oppo FCB. Now,
I like those colors. That looks like a superhero phone.
I know it looks fantastic. So
that's awesome.
This is the Oppo R11, which is currently, I believe, the second or world's best-selling smartphone, which is pretty amazing considering it is not even sold in this country. But they're doing very well for themselves, and they love their partnership with FC Barcelona, and it clearly shows. This is a gorgeous-looking phone.
This is really pretty.
We were having a bit of a look at it in the car. If I move that there, you can see if I hold that the right way, that you can see the gold accent on the Oppo name, and
fancy.
Wade County in the chat room just said it's the only Snapdragon 660 phone out.
Is there any special significance about that? The Snapdragon 660?
No, I think it's just newer. It's just one of the
newer mid-range.
It's their mid-range, but as they get more and more mid-range processors, they get closer and closer to the high end.
Yeah, they're like 2 years ago flagship.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So this one does have a lovely FCB theme onto it, and
naturally.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with Oppo phones, or as they like to call themselves, Oppo, but I like to say Oppo. But this phone is basically an Android iPhone. It's got this swipe up panel here. Let me see
that's really obvious.
Yeah, and it's got the Oppo Share button instead of AirDrop. If we launch their camera,
oh wow.
You weren't wow.
No. Yeah, we were talking about this in the car, but I didn't actually show it. And so there's all these things down there.
So it's the O phone. Somebody made that joke in the chat room. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is the O phone. But so you can't get to quick settings by swiping down, and you have to get to quick settings by swiping up from the bottom of the phone. This was also what we felt when we reviewed it. It is crazy that it's actually, it's not that crazy. It's a really nice phone. It's broadly similar hardware to the OnePlus 5. It's pretty much the same look and feel. I don't know whether or not you guys have tracked the ownership of OnePlus versus Oppo, but we had OnePlus come to Australia a couple of weeks ago, and the story's a little bit different now. They're like, yes, there's shared ownership, and that gives us access to Oppo's manufacturing line.
Okay.
And so OnePlus is basically saying they would not be able to make the OnePlus 5 did they not have that shared parentage and investment. And so they do share some resources with Oppo. They share component selections and things like that. And they're more than happy to talk about it now. So it is basically a super sexy OnePlus 5 with slightly lower end hardware and an operating system that depending how into Android you are, it might make you cry a little bit.
Let's show that back one more time just because it's super...
It is gorgeous.
Man.
I really like that sheen on there.
It's such a good look.
So I have to say, when they sent this to me, they also sent an FC Barcelona jersey with my name on it. So it's probably just going to go into a display cabinet.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
I know. It was pretty cool. And I saw my first FC Barcelona match at Mobile World Congress earlier this year, courtesy of Oppo. So
that's a thing.
That's very cool.
It was pretty cool. And at the time, they had fully blue and fully red versions of the R9S. And they're like, yeah, we'll get you one, but maybe we'll wait until later in the year when we have a slightly better one. And there's a slightly better one.
You see, now this is the kind of thing that I wish we had more here in the US, because like if you offered me up a Google Pixel that had a blue and orange combination that was subtle Mets, baseball integration.
Yeah.
Instead we get the black and white China phone kind of things, and then I can get a tacky case with a gaudy logo. Like I don't want that. Like the subtle color suggestion of a brand. I like that. That's a good integration.
What's the company that does all the decals? I feel like there's too many sports teams. Yeah, I feel like there's too many sports teams to like have an official one offered for every team. But Moto Maker.
I was just going to say, bring back Moto Maker.
Bring back Moto Maker.
That's the solution.
Buy it back from Lenovo.
Football fans love it. I meant American football. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We're just as crazy. Do you have any more?
I do have. So I don't know if you guys have seen the Moto X4.
We haven't actually. We just talked about it last week though, which was the new Android One phone. Now you have the Android One version?
No. So the Android One version is not coming to Australia.
Okay.
So I've brought this up. It's running Motorola's Android skin, which is practically stock Android anyway, plus a couple of apps. So that's okay. The only thing that happens is that your updates might slip by a couple of months instead of being right up there with Android One. But the reason that they actually gave for this is that the Android One version of the Moto X4 was actually ordered by Google, and a lot of the team who set up Project Fi are still within Motorola. So it makes sense to actually go to those people and get them to build a new phone for the Fi network. Or am I supposed to say Fi or Fi?
No, Fi.
Or Fi.
Yeah.
Fi, yeah.
Do you mind if I handle that a little bit? I'm
absolutely.
just very curious.
You're probably better at getting it into the product shot
this
as well.
This is very, very handy.
I got to see them lenses when you get a chance.
Yeah.
There we go.
Flip it over.
Yes.
This is nice and
just
smooth.
with that Oreo sitting in the background of the shot there as well.
There's a little Oreo. There you go.
Show us the
if you
flip it over.
I want to see that camera model.
If you put the Oreo on it.
You still have the back. Can I take that off, or do you want to?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay.
That's fine, yeah.
Sorry.
Silence, please.
No, don't apologize. I just.
There we go.
Nice.
Is this going to make an entry
great.
for Casegate now? Do we need to talk about whether you keep the shipping protectors on your phones?
I keep them because you never know if the manufacturer wants it back with everything on it.
Look
at
that's. I mean,
it is pretty gorgeous, isn't it?
Now, what I was sort of getting really obsessed with in the car ride with this is that this is the only phone you can get besides an LG device in the States that does a super wide-angle camera alongside a more traditional field of view. So normally a manufacturer will do black and white, or they'll do telephoto or something, and I am very excited. So that's a shot I took. Yeah. And I took a shot alongside a V30, and it seems to be the same field of view. What is it? It's about 120 degrees maybe for the ultra wide angle, which is pretty cool. And that's how you toggle it. Right there.
There you go.
Yeah. So
wide angle Oreo.
Very exciting for
very wide angle
aficionados of ultra wide angle shots, which are very dramatic. And you can even see all the work LG has done in reducing its fisheye lens, because this is still fisheye AF.
Interesting.
And I kind of still like that look.
Wait,
a lot.
fisheye. I'm not gonna. Never mind. I didn't know. Could have been saying autofocus.
Yeah, right.
Wow, this is really nice. This feels really nice in the hand.
We were talking about that on the way too. I feel like it's got a nice heft to it.
I've never liked a Moto phone this much in my hands, though.
What? Motorola does this all the time, though. They make really great feeling phones, and they keep telling us they'll carve out the shape of a phone and they'll make employees carry it around the office so that they can actually decide whether or not it's
the material that I really like.
Yeah, well, the
Because
glass back is really
The phones
good.
that I really liked from them were the plastic-backed ones, so like the Moto X and, and then with the Moto Z Force, I constantly feel like that phone just is empty. I feel like it's naked. It needs to have something pinned to the back of it to kind of feel like a full product.
Yeah.
Get them mods, man.
They
know.
people love the mods in Australia.
Is that true?
Really?
Yeah, they.
Whoa.
Motorola tells us.
What's it like to love mods? Tell us.
So Motorola tells us, and they didn't make any secret of it. So I'm assuming I'm allowed to repeat it. They've got about a 63% attachment rate. So if you buy a Moto Z, as we call them in Australia, if you buy a Moto Z, you're very likely to buy a mod. And they said if they include the shell covers, the style covers, that rate goes up to 90%. So people are generally buying at least one mod with it. And they said that about 5% of users have got everything. So there are some crazy people out there who've gone and bought the projector, the speakers, everything. And
they're using it.
Yeah, they're using them. And I've even seen a carry case that holds all of the mods as well.
Yeah,
well, so that was my next question. So if you're in Australia, what do you actually see people using them in the wild?
God, no.
Like, do you see?
No. I've never seen anyone using it in public, but they're saying that they've done quite well and they've got a good attachment rate. They might have sold 10, but I'm sure they've sold more than 10.
Yeah.
Ron had a Z2 Force. He was trying one on for a while.
I still do. I'm still using it. Yeah.
How's that screen doing?
It's good. It's good. Although I'm getting a lot of, I'm still having the problem with the little plastic curling up at the bottom.
Yeah, and the warped and the glare and all the micro scratches. What a great product that screen.
So we don't get the Force in Australia either. In fact, no one likes bringing rugged phones to Australia in general. Samsung used to do the Active line, but I think we haven't seen that since the S4.
Wait, what? You mean the land of wrestling alligators and like crazy stunts
we have
and intense
water
surfing? You don't want to have like an active version of a phone?
Apparently, no one does because they brought them to Australia and then went, oh, no one bought that. We're not bringing it next year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish they'd do that here, quite frankly. I wish they would just be like, no one bought that. Let's just stop putting it on TV and interrupting Flo's stories.
But that's when the Pixel C turns up in Wonder Woman 2 years later.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think that's more of a Flow problem than a manufacturer's problem. So, all right. Well, that's Jason. Thank you so much. This is some awesome fun. Is that all you got? Do you have anything else?
I do have a Moto G5S Plus, but like it's a budget, it's a mid-range phone.
Here, let me hold that baby.
But there's no glass back, so you're probably not going to appreciate the feel so much. But it is a metal.
Oh, anyone home?
It is a metal unibody.
Is it still a Snap 625 in there or what?
Yeah, I'm
micro
say
USB on the bottom.
So it depends whether it's the Plus or not. So there's the G5S and the G5S Plus. The Plus has the better CPU, so yes, it'll be the 600. But the standard G5S, it'll have a 400 Snapdragon CPU in it.
Really? See, I have only tracked the North American ones. They have so many SKUs. I can't track any of this.
I just stumbled over the lettering because I'm really not sure.
Well, it's not your fault, man. That's a confusing thing.
But yeah, it's a nice enough phone. They both have dual cameras. If I put that in the product shot, you can also see the back of the X4 is kind of a fingerprint magnet there. It's looking kind of messy already. And so the other thing I quite like about the back of this is it's actually got this little divot on the Motorola symbol, which we haven't seen on the back of Motorola phones for quite some time.
Right, they used to do that.
We're going to try the dimple again, the dimple test.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Dimple.
Yeah. That's what
I gotta say, minus the little mini Oreo cookie for the camera lenses. That almost looks like an HTC body.
It does.
It does. So many of these phones look like HTC phones these days.
Yeah.
Well, good thing Google bought them, I guess.
Yeah.
Now you're
strategically invested in them, Flo.
Sorry, you're right. Strategically invested.
Partnered with.
Ron, who is strategically invested in this show?
Yes. Well, thank you, Jason, for sharing those phones with us. Some good stuff there. But I want to take a break, and we want to thank Rocket Mortgage for sponsoring this episode of All About Android. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, that is, our wonderful sponsor. And so listen, if you've bought a house or you're thinking about buying a house, you know that the mortgage experience wasn't keeping up with the times. It was dated and it needed a client-focused technological revolution. It needed to be disrupted. And that's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Mortgage gives you the confidence you need when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. It's simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident that you're getting the right mortgage for you and your family and your new home. What's great about Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is that it's convenient. Their trusted partners allow you to share your financial information with Rocket Mortgage at the touch of a button. And it's powerful. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or your 10th, Rocket Mortgage is able to perform thousands of calculations in seconds. Based on your income, assets, and credit, Rocket Mortgage can analyze all of the home loan options for which you qualify and find the one that's just right for you and your needs. So Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. So to get started, you're going to go to rocketmortgage.com/Android. That's rocketmortgage.com/Android. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030. And we thank Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans for their support and for making the mortgage process that much easier. Thank you, Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. All right, Flo, what do we got next?
What do we got next? Victor, let's jump into the apps, shall we? So the first little piece of news that we have in our little app section today, we were actually sort of expressing our disdain about it before the show started. The fact that none of us have seen our update to the Google Home app today. I don't know, Ron, did you see your update today for the Google Home app?
I have not received an update for Google Home. I have not.
Okay. Well, today it got a massive redesign. So much of a redesign that unfortunately we can't show it to you on our own phones. But thankfully, Android Police has some lovely screenshots we can run through.
I've got half a screenshot at the top of the story.
So Google moved away from the static watch, list, and discover tabs in favor of a simpler discover and browse tab. So there's just kind of two main tabs to sort of to navigate through. Not as busy as it was when you first entered into the Google Home app. Page navigation has moved from top to bottom, kind of mimicking the YouTube user experience. Each page has been cleaned up considerably. Discover page now pops up tips that you might to kind of help you use Google Home, figure out how to use it in your house. Also offers tips on how to use Assistant, how to talk to it. And every section now has new splash screens. And of course, now just the rest of us have to wait for the update to hit our phones, unless you want to try and push the APK.
It feels like this is the product life cycle of Google with their own apps, is that they roll out a product, the app is MVP, right? It's the most viable, app version that they can to ship with, and then they go back and refine it and make it better, right? I mean, I feel like we've seen this before.
Isn't that Android though?
Yeah.
It hasn't it been that from day one where we're just, but in all seriousness, Ron, I think that is definitely, I would rather have something, maybe it's me as an Android user and being used to the beta state of things, but I would rather have something ahead of time. Even I'm okay with it not being entirely baked.
But so we all have Google Homes. Everybody has a Google Home. They all use the Google Home app.
They just launched it in Australia a couple of months ago.
That's right.
Well, welcome to the club.
Thanks.
So I speaking for myself, and whether you guys agree with me or not, I have been frustrated with the Google Home app before, in that it's, where are things? How do I set this up? It wasn't the best app to
Is
roll
this really
out
going
with.
to fix it though?
Well,
I don't know.
It was really over. So
we can't tell.
Well, okay. So okay, hold on. Let me reach down here. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to work, but if you go into the Home app on my phone, this is the old version. It's just so, sorry, y'all. It's just so busy.
Yeah, there's so much stuff.
It's
Like, do this,
so
do this, do this.
much going on. It's like, meet your assistant. Here's what you can do. Play podcasts. That's the Discover tab. That's the thing that's supposed to help you kind of figure out what to do. And it'll kind of update like a regular feed would. And then in the listen, it just kind of goes through your apps and tells you what you can jump into. But I hardly use this. I mean, I jump straight into the app if I want to use it, which I think is why they probably eliminated that and took it out. And then under Watch, it's great to see the trending movies, but, I'm just going to, again, jump into the Play Movies and TV app myself and go look for what I need. And plus, then when you go into the overflow menu, it's got all this other stuff. So then it's like, okay, so now we've got home control. So I'm going to jump into home control. And then there's this other busyness going on. So it's,
I think discovery of devices that you can control on your home network or adding them, it is really busy. There's just this massive long list. And there's no easy way to narrow it down. And you just, I need to know that my Yeelight is going to be at the bottom of the list, or it's not. It's like Yeelight by Xiaomi, or Xiaomi Yeelight, or any better way to actually categorize that list, especially as it grows, is going to be better. But do you know what I use the Google Home app for the most?
What?
Figuring out how the hell I control the Chromecast that's on my network that is casting stuff when my control has disappeared from my phone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They haven't
drives me
changed
nuts.
it.
It seems as if Chromecast can't hold the signal for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
So I come in here, and the only thing I do is I push that little button at the top right, which gets me into the list of casting devices on my network. Surface that. Make that a little bit more obvious to me. Hey, by the way, there's a device on your network that is playing that you probably want to control.
Maybe they should make that the splash screen. Make that the front page.
But not everybody has casting devices. That's the problem. I guess with the Google Home they do. So yeah.
Yeah. I find that really disappointing that they're not going to tackle that. I still have to go into this tiny little button at the top. Isn't the floating action button meant to be there to hit the thing that you're going to do the most in the app? Make that the floating action button. Look at your devices, or just pause whatever's playing.
I think that's fair.
There's my rant.
All right.
Well argued.
Well, I mean, and that rant can be probably directed at Google in the idea of excellence among app design, and which is good timing because the Android Excellence Awards for apps and games for fall 2017 were announced in the Android Developers blog. And now these are the apps that Google likes to recognize for the highest quality, both apps and games, or for design, interface, user experience, and solid app performance. And a lot of them are repeat, like Robinhood is in there, which is won before, but some interesting ones that won this year that are added to the list. Bring, which is a grocery list app, Asphalt 8, which is a racing game, Castbox, which is a podcasting app. But the only app on this entire list, I believe the only app on this entire list that had made it, that went into the All About Android arena and won was Email by Edison, which is had a much longer name. It was Email Secure and Fast Email Messaging or whatever. I brought it to the arena in February and it was a winner. So I'm glad to see that.
Oh, that app.
I am the only member of the All About Android crew that knows excellence in apps. So take that, Flo.
Sick.
Jeez.
I feel like I'm going to need to install this app now, actually, because it does support.
Ron really liked it.
It looks like it does support Office 365, so I can get my work email on it.
It does, yeah. No, it's a really great interface, a really great app. It is fast and secure, supports a lot of platforms. It is a really, really great email app. So I'm glad to see it got kind of
rating.
Yeah, really excited. 3.6, which is interesting because normally
it's 4.6.
Google. Oh, 4.6. I'm sorry, 4.6. Yeah, because I know Google has they will not promote anything with a lower than 4.2 rating.
All right.
So yeah, which is interesting.
It's like your Uber rating.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't checked mine.
It's right there in the app now.
Oh, it's in the app now?
Yeah. It just shows it in up.
Yeah, they
put that on the product shot. Should we compare Uber ratings?
Finally, we have one little tidbit of news for the small percentage of Allo users out there who are hanging on with me, Ron, and Jason for an app that we love and cherish. Well, now you can use it in Opera, Firefox, and iOS browsers. So you can use the web client inside those browsers on your mobile devices.
Huh. So on the device that you can install the app on, they've made it work in the browser.
From what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Yes, from what I'm understanding.
All right.
Huh.
Still
it.
doesn't get anyone using it.
It still doesn't get anyone
I
using
have
it.
Zero to say about
It's a really
Allo.
light news week because tomorrow everything is going to be announced, possibly, maybe.
So wait. But I'm sorry, Michael and Jason, do either of you use Allo for anything?
No,
No.
I've never used it after this launch week. Yeah.
What about Duo?
No.
Similar. But however, I hear Duo is a pretty good execution of just a product type I don't use. Video calling sounds to me like way too much effort.
I've got a whole row of Messenger apps on my home screen, and Allo and Duo are not. I need to turn that brightness down. Allo and Duo are not there because nobody contacts me using them. Nobody tries to contact me, and also I've got so many Messenger apps that you can probably find me on something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, sorry, the Allo thing, by the way, Opera and Firefox on the desktop. There's a bit of a confusion about iOS support because I guess you can open it in Safari and Chrome on a PC.
That's weird.
And it'll work with I think it works with the iPhone version now of Allo.
Huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
Any word
Still,
on the other missing
I'm
features?
not going to be able to convince anyone to use Allo on the iPhone side, so I don't even know. But thank God for Ron.
On the other hand, Google Voice is still a great app, which I am very happy got updated instead of getting killed, just to inject some sort of positivity
updated?
into
We've
it.
never had that.
I adore Google Voice.
I think my inbox is full because nobody can leave me voicemails anymore.
No, that's the way it should be. Leave it that way.
Should I?
Nobody should
Oh,
leave-
yeah.
nobody
But then I
should
always
leave
get a text
voicemails
message
in
now.
2017.
Now I get a text message. They go, hey, your mailbox is full, which is fine. I know you need to get a hold of me, and I'm a jerk, and I don't have my voicemail set up.
No, don't you take a blame for that. It's 2017. Voicemail's done.
Yeah, that's how I run my voicemail as well.
I don't
care.
I don't want to pick up the phone during work hours.
No, shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's
I've got a screen full of messaging apps. You can reach me on those.
right? You could tell me to, if you need me, just tweet me,
Yeah.
and I will do whatever you need me to do. But don't call me because my phone will be on silent and I won't hear it.
These are like new song lyrics, I feel like.
Just tweet me.
Call
if you
me
need
definitely not.
If you need me, just tweet me. I feel like this is a good time to jump into our final advertisement for the night.
So
us to be here.
I want to thank our last sponsor who's keeping us well fed. This episode is brought to you by Blue Apron. And Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone while supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standards for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. And listen, growing up, my mother cooked dinner for us every night. It was amazing. I could not do what she did until I started using Blue Apron. And Blue Apron gave me just a bunch, these fantastic recipes, fantastic ingredients, and reminded me how much I love to be in the kitchen and how much I love cooking. Blue Apron really made making dinner something I look forward to. And it's great because it's affordable. With less than $10 per person per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes with pre-proportioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. There's no weekly commitment, so you only get deliveries when you want them, which is great for me when I travel and I need to cancel my order. It's easy to do that. You just commit on a weekly basis. It's no problem. And you can customize your recipes every week based off your dietary preferences. Each week, you can choose from a variety of new recipes or let Blue Apron's culinary team surprise you. They've got such great recipes, upcoming meals that include shrimp marinara with spaghetti, spinach, and parsley. They got spiced cauliflower and pepper with jasmine rice and cilantro yogurt sauce. Sounds wonderful. And maple gravy smothered pork chops with stewed collard greens and sweet potatoes. As we're moving into the colder months, maple gravy smothered pork chop sounds the hearty dinner that you need to warm your bones. So Blue Apron is definitely the source of a way to keep you fed and entertained. Blue Apron has established partnerships with over 150 local farms, fisheries, and ranchers across the United States. And by shipping the exact amount of each ingredient required for a recipe, Blue Apron is reducing food waste. And their freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient in your delivery arrives ready to cook or they'll make it right. So you want to get on board the Blue Apron train, go to blueapron.com/allaboutandroid to get 3 meals free with your first purchase and free shipping. You heard me right. That's 3 meals free with your first purchase and free shipping. You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/allaboutandroid. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Thanks, Blue Apron. And with that, it is time to go to our favorite moment in the program, the arena.
So many enter, but only one lives. Android Arena.
All righty. Let's see.
See how the results were for last week.
How did we do last week? Let's see. Oh, I need to vote. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Let me get the results here. Okay, so last week's winner was Quick Lyric in first place. Oh, that was Miriam.
That was Miriam. Yep.
Nap Time Super Doze was number 2. Was that you?
That was mine.
That was you. Mine. All right. Free Forward, I believe that was Jason.
Correct.
And Letterpress was me, and that was last. Thanks, everyone.
Now, this is fascinating, though, because with those results, with Miriam...
Wait a minute. No. Free Forward was me. Sorry. I'm second to last.
Okay. With Miriam's win for the guests, that puts us at our totals through 39 weeks of the arena. Flo, you, me, and the guests are all tied with 102 points.
What is happening?
Hey.
Isn't that amazing? And Jason, unfortunately, slips deeper into the basement with 95 points. And missing this week is not going to help him, let me tell you. So that said, Flo, even though you came in second to last, Jason's not here, so that means you get to go first.
I do get to go first. Today, I brought an app that is super easy to use, and since I've been using this LG V30, kind of this pre-production version of the LG V30, and trying to figure out its camera, I've also been making videos. So the app I brought today is called Timbre. Well, I believe it's spelled Timbre.
That's the musical form of timber.
Oh, thank you. See, this is what happens when you don't have music education. Please help your children play an instrument. So nice thing about Timbre is it's exceptionally easy to use. There is a free version which has ads, which can get annoying. So what I did is I paid, I think it was like $1. Oh, wait, no, it's completely free. I don't think I had to pay for it. Did I? I don't remember. You might have to pay. You might have to pay to unlock it. I don't remember, and I apologize. This is what happens. But I will show you what it can do. So you can edit audio and video from this app any way that you like. So let's see. One thing that I like to do is, I don't know, maybe I'll create a GIF. So what it's going to do is it's going to go into my recents. Okay, here's there's lots of videos of me dancing the hora. So we're just going to turn off the sound and not have anybody show.
Oh, come on.
And so what you could do is you pause it, scroll to where you want to go, and then select the range of where you want the animation to take place, select your resolution, and then I believe you tap that, and then it will convert it to a GIF for you from MP4. It just takes a couple seconds.
That's actually cool. I'm going to go and install that.
Yeah, I need that.
Did we just concede?
It'll tell you can feel free to go if you want to. You can open it. That one didn't come out so well, but yes. I think that's because it's a vertical video. That's why it didn't come out very well.
That'll teach you.
You can also join two videos if you want. So, click to add videos from your gallery. Let's see, we'll add another one from the gallery. Just add it together. This little montage of us dancing to the hora. We had a lot of fun that night. Fun. Save that as an MP4, and then that will just be...
Florence, I hate to interrupt you.
Yes.
But unfortunately, you are the victim of the All About Android wiki not being up to date.
I've been searching the wiki, looking in the chat room.
Jason, I had to go... The wiki... So here's a call out to our audience. Whoever updated the All About Android's app list stopped at episode 317. That was 20 episodes ago. Episode 319, Jason brought Timbre, join, convert, MP3. So and while it looks as if like they're, I don't know, Flo. I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel like the statute of limitations is within the same year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Victor, if you had a sad trombone, now would be a good time to play it.
Womp, womp, womp. Just play it
If
for
only there was an
myself.
app that you could cut a sad trombone out of and export it as a GIF animation or MP3 of some kind.
That would be an app.
That would be really useful.
So
Next week.
I guess we'll discuss what to do post show. No need in holding up the app arena for my folly.
Let's move to Jason's app.
Let's move to Jason.
Sure.
Jason, what do you have to show us?
I have a neat little game. It's a very simple game called Brick Blast Ball. I like it because it looks like it's where's my product shot? There we go. Sorry. Here we go. If I put that up the right way, it's even better. And so it's really simple. It's kind of like a cross between a bit of puzzle bobble where you pull back and aim, and you fire the ball up like Breakout, and you have to try and bounce it around and knock out the blocks, and the blocks have numeric values assigned to them so that they take a certain amount of things to knock out. Now, this is great, but you can also pick up extra balls while you're doing it. So I'm going to try and do that here. There's a couple, and so then you start firing multiple balls at once. And this just grows up and up. And so you can see there's now one up here that takes 12 hits to knock out. And yeah, I had to go earlier, and I ended up with something like 100 balls firing simultaneously across the screen, and it gets pretty intense and pretty insane.
This is like Arkanoid meets Tetris.
I know, and yeah, it's also a little bit of. I need to take that one out there. There's a little bit of Arkanoid. We call that Breakout in Australia because of the Atari version.
I see.
Arkanoid,
Okay.
Arkanoid Tetris. There's a little bit of Space Invaders with the constantly going in lines. But frankly, you can see now I'm sort of getting a lot. I've got 11 balls going at the same time now, and so everything splits up, and it gets pretty insane. So this is pretty fun. The graphics are pretty simple. It is actually built with Unity, so they could probably make the graphics a little bit better. But yeah, it's nice and simple. It's nice and fun. And if you are sitting on a jet flying across the country or across the ocean, yeah, it's a pretty fun way to pass the time because no two games and no two shots are ever going to be the same.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much, Jason. So that is Brick Blast Ball, and that is it contains
It is
ads.
free. It does contain some ads, and you can disable them with an in-app purchase.
Support your devs.
Yeah.
Something we say on the show. Always support your devs. Michael,
Yes.
Mr. Mobile, what do you have to show us?
Speaking of flying across the country, I too
which you
have
just
an
did.
excellent diversion for that. No, but this is very specific. I have an app, which is a game. It's called Sky Gambler's Air Supremacy.
Oh.
And that's a mouthful of a title. It's actually part of a series of games all under the Sky Gamblers brand. And it is a combat flight simulator. You can just fly these fighters without engaging in combat, but if you do the combat missions, you get this kind of fun story mode. It's not just the flight. It actually has a kind of a compelling story involving alien invasion, and then it eventually gets really, really weird. But the fundamentals of the game remain the same, which is this really capable flight simulator. The graphics are not going to be the most well developed. This is like a 4-year-old game or something like that. Bring that exposure down a little bit for you. Where do I go? Resume. But what I really, really enjoy about this game, besides the fact that it's super responsive and there is multiplayer too. So if you get your friends to download
You're doing
this
tilt
game,
controls there as well.
I am. Like accelerometer, and then you've got throttle on the screen, and you can actually tailor the controls the way you want. And like I was saying, you've got multiplayer, so if you can just hop into anonymous rooms and just fight each other. It's a great time. But my favorite thing about this is to break it out on. Suspicious activity spotted. I'm sorry. I have to move on and attack these helicopters. Well, I'm telling you that this is the number one thing that takes my mind off turbulence on long-haul flights.
I hate turbulence.
I think like most people really can't stand turbulence, but with this, turbulence isn't just forgotten. It becomes part of the experience. And the game doesn't have any haptic feedback or anything annoying like that. It's just a really, really effective way to forget that you're sitting in a plane seat.
Pretending to be a plane?
Without your destiny in your hands, yes, while other people ferry you from point to point. Sky Gamblers Air Supremacy. I think it's free with in-app purchases. I think you can buy other other levels and other planes and stuff, and eventually UFOs. And that's a wonderful time.
That is a slight progression going from a fighter jet to a UFO.
Yeah, yeah. Only the most skilled
Spoiler.
aviators can make the transition. I'm
I've
not too good at
Without
UFOs.
being
I've seen Independence
skinned
Day.
alive for their what?
Yeah, it
Sorry?
is basically an Independence Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skilled
Similar
fighters
plot.
take on alien jets, alien fighters.
With and an Apple Macintosh.
Yep.
An
All
Apple
right.
Macintosh. All right.
Thank you, Michael. So, Flo, you have come up with a replacement.
I came up with a replacement just to make this, happen. It's social hashtags, which is an app that I use
What? Really?
to help me when I'm posting on Instagram or if I need to post anything with a lot of hashtags.
Oh, I should use this.
So I like this one because it's a little materially, so it's kind of like it's not that bad to look at, and the ads aren't super annoying. And all I do is, let's say I'm posting about Android phones, so type in Android, and it'll just give me the most used tags. So obviously we have Android, and then after that it's Android Community, Android Instagram, Androidnesia. Like it just keeps going on and on. Ads aren't too bad. There's a lot of just general tags that they'll help associate for you. So if you need to just, walk in there and put some tags to kind of help and up your follower count, that's all you got to do. And you can easily copy them all with one touch of a button.
Good recovery, Mav.
Social hashtags.
I'm going to use that because one of the things I've been doing. This is my first time visiting San Francisco, so I've been taking a lot of photos and sticking them all over Instagram, and I can't be bothered doing hashtags on them. So I'm going to give this a try.
It's useful. It's I have a little social media deck on my mobile devices to kind of help me with the social mediaing if I'm doing them mobily. So
Works well.
yeah,
Great.
it helps. So now that I have recovered, Ron,
Yes.
it's your app time, which
All
I'm
right.
going
So
to demo.
as I'm frantically scrambling trying to clean up your mess.
This is the story of my life with Ron. TBH.
Anyway, I love you, Flo. You know it is. All right. So my app is an app called Network Speed Monitoring. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It is an app that allows you to monitor your network speed. If you're ever curious what kind of speed you're getting from your mobile carrier or through your Wi-Fi or whatnot, as you're using the phone, you see a steady speed telling what your current speed is, what your highest speed, what network you're connected to. And then you can see as the graph is moving by, it is showing you your upload and download, kind of the spikes and peaks and valleys. And down below, it gives you some great stats that tells you your data usage, your monthly usage, and mobile versus Wi-Fi usage. For those of you who are really tight on your mobile data limits, this is a great way to help you monitor that. And it's got nice material design, gets the job done. If you go into the menu there, you can choose between the detailed info or network traffic. And you can tap on any of these, and basically it gives you you got to give some permissions in order to do it. So Thank you, Flo, for giving it usage access. Hit network speed. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Up.
Back.
Up.
Back.
There we go.
There we go. Back. All right. So now,
Hey.
yeah. So now go to the hamburger menu again, and go to network traffic.
Oh.
Yeah. And so now it's going to tell you what is causing this traffic on top of the graph,
Yeah.
Photos.
which is so you can see which apps are using your data at what time and how much data, which is pretty cool, and it's a neat little interface on how it does that. You can see here it's free in the Google Play Store, and it's supported by ads. If you hit the hamburger menu, not the settings menu, hamburger menu. You can hit remove ads, and you can pay an in-app purchase of
$1.
$1.99, which gets rid of the ads there. A neat little thing it does has, if you go into the settings in the upper right-hand corner, you can choose to turn on or off the notification bar, and it will show you your network speed on the notification bar if you have that on. Or you can also have a floating widget, which is pretty cool. So if you turn that on, you might notice somewhere on your screen there's very small. You can change how this all works, but there's a little. I think it's up in the center of your notification bar, Flo.
I kind of see it.
Yeah, there it is. So turn floating widget back on. Nope, turn floating widget on. Right there. See next to your mute icon up top.
So they've placed it on your notification bar.
Yeah, but you can move that. No, Flo, up to the top. You see where it says 50% and then your signal.
It's two little lines.
You see those numbers?
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
Now, if you tap and
teeny
drag,
tiny.
you can move that.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so teeny.
Right, but then because it's so teeny, you can go to floating widget settings and you can change it. You can make it bigger. You can change what it does. Nope, there you go. You can change its position. You can change its color, all that sort of stuff. So it gives you real control over it. So pretty neat. So if you're looking for control over, if you just want more insight into your network data and the speeds you're getting and how much data you're using, this is a great way to do that. So network speed monitoring, free in the Google Play Store with in-app purchase to unlock the ads. There you go, network speed monitoring. I don't know why it says unreleased because it's released. So there you go.
I noticed that there's like 10,000 to 50,000 downloads. So for an unreleased app, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's doing pretty good. Yeah. So
Excuse me.
All
okay,
right.
So in order to move forward with this week's poll, guys, you're going to have to do a little work. It's not the usual redirect. You can find this week's poll at bit.ly/AAA_337. If you are listening to the show or watching the show later on, you can also try twit.to/AAA poll 337. That doesn't work right now. So those of you watching live, you want to go to bit.ly/AAA_337. So we thank everybody for their
Understanding in this
patience.
trying time.
Yeah.
Our long national nightmare is over.
Yeah, exactly.
well,
Exactly.
It's a bit of a nightmare when you're, on
It's
live
all
tune,
good.
All these things
Yep.
go down.
Well, and to those watching in the chat room, go to bit.ly/AAA_337 because you want the updated poll, not the old wrong poll. So there you go. So
you don't want the wrong poll.
yeah.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye
It is
to
so
all
sad.
our company.
I knew there was a way to continue that, but I didn't know what the words
Yeah,
were.
no, neither did I.
It's the Mickey Mouse. It's the Mickey Mouse Club. Right?
Excuse me.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
it's
no,
the
that's
Mickey
right.
Mouse Club.
Is that right?
It's
Anyway.
like the closing credits for a Mickey Mouse cartoon or something.
Yeah.
Or Roger Ramjet. It could have been Roger Ramjet as well, but
Roger Ramjet?
Roger Ramjet.
Yeah.
And Flo is a millennial, so
I'm
we're
a
not
millennial.
going to be surprised that so.
So I'm useless, as we have learned.
no, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was
Hardly.
Mickey Mouse.
You said it.
Jason, tell us a little bit about where our listeners and our watchers can find you on the internet and beyond.
You can find me personally on Twitter at JM77, and you can find my writing and reviews and all other sorts of random musings that occasionally come out when I write things at Osdroid. That's AUSDROID.net. And we have a lovely team of volunteers who sacrifice a lot of their own personal time from their own jobs to keep people up to date with the latest in Android news, and we have a blast doing it as well. And this is why I'm in San Francisco, so I can't complain too much about that. So Twitter, JM77. You can also follow us on Twitter at Osdroid, and keep up to date with what's happening in Australia. Some slightly more colourful phones than might come out here all the time. But don't import any of them because they probably won't work on your networks. We'll see how we go.
It's true. It's true.
Sage advice.
Sage advice.
You always have to watch the bands.
Well, thank you so much, Jason, for coming and being on All About Android today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Mr. Mobile,
Yes.
where can people find you if they don't already know where to find you?
If anybody is still on Snapchat, and I think there's a handful of folks.
I'm
that
still
are.
on Snapchat.
You and me both.
Do you use
Mr.
the
Mobile
social tags on it?
snaps? What do I do? No hashtagging
You don't
on
have to
Snapchat.
use
You don't hashtag
tags.
the Snapchat.
Clearly I don't.
Location tags, though, are how you find stories.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah,
There's some.
get hit to that Xennial knowledge.
I've been doing some personal research. Anyway,
location tagging. Well, I'm Mr. Mobile Snaps on Snapchat, MR for Mr. But everywhere else that matters, I'm at the Mr. Mobile, THEMR, MOBILE, including YouTube. which is the most important of my channels, you should smash that like button if you're into it. Appreciate you having me on.
That sounds a little bit rehearsed.
Yeah,
That's great.
Hey, look at that. It's a Palm Pre.
Oh, yeah. Oh, excellent. Everyone pour a little out for our friends at Palm. But yeah, seriously, thank you for having me back. It's been a while, and it's really great to hang out with all of y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Look at
Michael.
that jacket. Look at that jacket.
Yeah,
Thank you
look
for
at
wearing
that.
the jacket.
Captain
seriously.
Jacquard.
Although I have to say the one thing,
Good job, number one.
I'm glad you brought it in because I realize now, like, if I spent $350 for the novelty, I probably wouldn't.
You got to
wear it.
try it. It's super comfy, though.
Okay, I'll try it after
Way
the
more
show.
comfy than it
Okay,
looks.
okay.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Yeah. Here's the pitch.
Okay. Ron.
Yeah. Yes. So as always, you can go to Twitter at RonXO, or you can follow me there. All my various adventures and attempts at taking pictures of live music poorly. A lot of that over the past couple of weeks. And of course, you can go check out my other podcasts over at ifanboy.com, where we're talking about comic books and comic book movies and TV shows and things like that. We did an episode on the new Star Trek Discovery TV show, as well as the Orville, because that's actually a Star Trek show, even though it's not called Star Trek, but it is more Star Trek than the other Star Trek.
Whoa.
Was that the Orville?
The Orville, yeah. The
I've
Orville.
been wanting to watch it, but it hasn't come to Australia like many things.
Watch it while you're here in the States, because it's
that
very,
sounds
very good.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, of course, you can go to damnfinepodcast.com, where me and Tom Merritt talked about every episode of Twin Peaks, season 1, season 2, and the most recent season 3. And if you were a subscriber to Damn Fine Podcast, stay tuned, because we got another episode coming to you this week. We're returning after a couple of weeks break to kind of process our feelings. So definitely want to tune into that. So, yep, that's it.
Processing feelings is very good, especially when it comes to TV shows, because they can really hit you.
Yep, that's for sure.
Well, you can find me on the internet at on Twitter at OThatFlow. My website, haven't updated in a while, but I penned something recently for Android Authority, so if you want to head over there and check that out. I wrote a little something on the LG V30 last week. Other than that, that's it for the show today. We did it.
Should we cheer?
Congratulations.
We actually made it to the
everyone.
end. Yes.
Well done.
Yes,
Well done.
congratulations, everyone. We did it. We got through the show. Thank you, God, without an earthquake. And on that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in today and for just loving us through all of our blunders. Be sure to subscribe to the Twit weekly newsletter at twit.tv/newsletter to get all up to date on what's going on here at the studio. Be sure to call us, leave us a voicemail. You know that we love those at 347-SHOW AAA. You can email and video mail us at AAA@twit.tv. You can tweet us at Android Show. You can join us on Reddit at twittaaa.reddit.com. And you can check all the show notes and past episodes at twit.tv/AAA. And of course, don't forget that we are on YouTube. Please subscribe to us, and you can catch us live here every Tuesday starting at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, whatever else the time is where you are. Thank you, everybody.